Have you ever wondered what sets legendary Formula One drivers apart from the rest? What secret techniques they use to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat? Well, you're about to find out. Before we dive deep into the magic of Lewis Hamilton's tyre management at the 2019 Monaco Grand Prix, a small request. If you enjoy deep dives into the world of F1 and uncovering hidden gems of races gone by, then imagine how much more there is for you to discover on this channel. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be glad you did. Now, back to Monaco 2019, a race where Hamilton's back was against the wall, where every turn and every decision mattered. Curious how he did it? Let's unfold the riveting tale of tyre strategy, daring moves and raw determination. Keep watching till the end because I promise you'll learn something new about the world of F1 and the sheer genius of Sir Lewis Hamilton. So, despite all your best preparations, there are times when things don't go so great. Drivers are trained to always make the best of whatever situation they find themselves in. Now, there's no doubt that Sir Lewis is one of the greatest Formula One drivers ever. He's successfully fought through some challenging situations, mainly because of his immense talent. And at the 2019 Monaco Grand Prix, Lewis managed to pull off one of the craziest turnarounds of his career. In this video, we'll look into how Lewis got into a bit of tyre trouble and how he flipped the script and eked out an improbable win. For avid Formula One fans, the Monaco Grand Prix needs absolutely no introduction. The race is amongst the most popular across the Formula One calendar, and its profile only continues to grow every single year. Lewis Hamilton and the Mercedes team were looking to extend their lead over the rest of the grid by putting up another monster performance. Lewis had already started the 29 season pretty hot, and in Monaco, he was looking to continue that trend to give himself as comfortable a lead as he could over his main rivals, Sebastian Vettel with Ferrari and the up-and-coming Max Verstappen with Red Bull. Unlike today, Mercedes had their technical strategy on lockdown. Their cars were arguably the best on the grid, but an emotional component to this race made it more of a must-win. Just a few days earlier, the great Niki Lauda had sadly passed away. Before his death, Niki had been one of the most legendary Formula One drivers. A three-time world champion, he was one of the major influences for Lewis early on in his career. Then, when he became a non-executive chairman at Mercedes, Niki eventually played a significant part in recruiting Lewis to join the team in 2013. Over the years, Lewis had spoken about his relationship with Niki, whom he called a close friend. So, when Niki died, it was understandably a pretty emotional time for the guys and girls over at Mercedes. With Monaco on the way, a win for Mercedes would have been the perfect result to honour the great legend. The win would also be symbolic for Lewis, who, as we said, had a special relationship with Niki. Therefore, Lewis went into Monaco like a man on a mission. It all started in qualifying, where he came out firing on all cylinders. By the end of Q3, Lewis had bagged himself yet another pole position. This result was crucially important for Monaco, a circuit famous for its difficulty to overtake. When the race started, it was standard stuff for Mercedes. Lewis started out in front with his teammate Valtteri Bottas in P2. The teammates were on top of the drivers' standings with Max Verstappen in third place. The race started with a tribute for Niki Lauda, who, regardless of the team, was a consensus legend across Formula One. The teams and drivers came forward for the race to honour Lauda, with everyone joining in for a minute's silence. When the race began, Hamilton was off and hit the accelerator hard. Instead, the major battle was between Bottas and Verstappen, the two men having a bit of a scrap to decide who would hold on to second position. Verstappen tried his best, but it wasn't enough to overcome Bottas. As such, the Mercedes duo were out in front, with Verstappen stuck in P3, the same position he qualified. Elsewhere on the track, Ricciardo was able to move into 6th position, and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, the hometown favourite, overcame his abysmal performance in qualifying to move up to 14th. Soon enough, the tyres began to wear for Hamilton. On the 10th lap, Charles Leclerc got hooked after his tyres popped, and subsequently meant the safety car had to be brought out. Now, instead of just riding out the safety car period, the engineers at Mercedes decided to ask Lewis from the lead to come in for a pit stop on the 11th lap so they could change his tyres. Now, to be fair, both Bottas and Verstappen also entered the pits at this point. The difference, however, was that the engineers gave Hamilton a set of medium tyres, whilst Bottas and Verstappen got hard tyres. This meant that Lewis had to go the remaining 67 laps of the race with these medium compound tyres whilst fending off the threat from Verstappen and Bottas, both of whom had stronger and slightly fresher tyres. Naturally, Hamilton kept questioning his team's strategy and why they thought giving him the medium tyres was the best bet.
I can't keep the car behind. Mono.
Everyone understood what was happening, and Hamilton now had to manage a pair of medium tyres for the vast majority of the race, while most of his competitors were having an easier time by running the hard tyres.
Fascinating strategy, isn't it, from Mercedes-Benz to get those tyres that he's on, the medium yellow mark.
The pressure on Hamilton was especially piling from Verstappen. The Dutch racer had overcome Valtteri Bottas to move into P2 and was now looking to make a major push for that first position. But the problem for Mad Max was that he had gotten a 5-second penalty for an altercation he had with Bottas at that first pit stop where this whole drama began.
So we've just been given a 5-second time penalty for the incident in the pit lane that will be added to our race time at the end.
With that 5-second penalty, Hamilton had a much stronger advantage. But his tyres were still the issue, and he didn't really believe that he could pull out the victory.
There's only halfway. These tyres don't feel like they're going to make it to the end now.
Lewis lost connection with his front left tyre, and he could feel the other tyres just ripping off at the seams. Toto Wolff, Mercedes team principal, claimed that Hamilton had no rubber on the left front tyre and still had 20 laps to go. That, coupled with the extreme difficulty of steering on the tight Monaco turns, meant that Hamilton had very few options left. Nevertheless, after an arduous and grueling final 20 laps, Hamilton dug deep, held on, and was able to win the Monaco Grand Prix. The race was his most impressive of the year. Not only that, but it was his 4th consecutive victory in the 2019 Formula 1 season, eventually coming home in 2nd place with Sebastian Vettel, with Bottas in 3rd and Verstappen rounding out the top 4. Speaking after the race, Hamilton didn't give much thought to the tyre issue. Instead, he spoke about how his desire to win the race came from fighting with Lauda's spirit. He said, "That was definitely the hardest race I've had, but nonetheless, I was really fighting with the spirit of Niki. He's been such an influence in our team, and I know he'll be looking down and taking his hat off. I was trying to stay focused and make him proud. That's been the goal all week, and we truly miss him." As for Toto Wolff, he was more critical about the technical crew's performance, although he of course had high praise for Lewis. Speaking with Sky Sports, Wolff said, "We knew that the tyre choice was the wrong one, and in hindsight, we would have taken the hard. We rarely make mistakes like this. In the end, the driver made the difference and won us the race. He saved us. His driving saved us." As we come to a close on this tale of sheer will and strategy from Monaco 2019, it's evident that champions like Lewis Hamilton aren't just born. They're moulded by the challenges, honed by pressure, and driven by an indomitable spirit. This race was a testament to his prowess, and yet another example of why he's considered one of the greatest. But remember, this is just one chapter in the vast, thrilling world of Formula 1, a sport filled with tales of drama, heroics and strategies. By diving deep into this particular race, we've explored the nuances that make F1 a mesmerising spectacle. And if this intrigued you, just imagine the other untold stories waiting on this channel. If you haven't already, now is the time to click that subscribe button and join us on this exhilarating journey. And finally, as promised at the beginning, what's the takeaway? In F1, it's not just about the car or the track, it's about the resilience of the human spirit, the ability to adapt, and the hunger to win, no matter the odds. Now, over to you. Do you believe that Monaco 2019 was Hamilton's greatest ever performance? Or is there another race that stands out in your mind? Share your thoughts in the comments. And remember, every race has a story, and we're here to tell it.